Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take a very easy variant Sudoku puzzle and we break it down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called Frog in the Fog, and it's by Carmen Lambert, and here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill the entire box with the digits 1 through 9 without repeats in any row, column, or box. Digits along the dark green parity line must alternate between odd and even. So if this were, say, an odd digit, this would have to be an even digit, which would force that to be an odd digit, which would force that to be even, etc., etc. That's how parity lines work. So as an example, we could have something like 3, 6, 1, 8, 5, right? It alternates between odds and evens. Or you could have something like, for example, 4, 3, 8, 1, 2, right? That could work as alternating between evens and odds. Once you have one of one set, it will alternate between the other set, basically. So that's how parity lines work. We also have digits along the pink thermometer must increase starting from the bulb end. So say we had a thermometer going something like, I don't know, this. Then it would be constantly increasing from the bulb to the tip, which is, so you could have something along the lines of, say, 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, or something like that, along this thermometer. And that would work because it's constantly increasing from the bulb to the tip. Now, if this were, say, I don't know, if you had, say, an 8 here, this thermometer does not work anymore because one of the digits is going to be, it's not constantly increasing from the bulb to the tip, right? The 8 is greater than the 7. So it will be decreasing there, and that would break the thermometer. And that's how thermometers work. Cells within a brown circle must be odd. So if there's a brown circle, that digit in there must be odd. Also, digits along diagonals pointed to by arrows outside the grid must sum to the number listed. So this is a little killer clue. And basically, this is saying that these 4 digits must sum up to what this number is, which is 28. That's how killer clues work. We also have crop key dots, where a black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio. A white dot between cells indicates cells with consecutive values. So these are, again, black and white crop key dots, and not all dots are shown. So, for example, if this were a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 to maintain the 1-to-2 ratio. If this were, say, a 6, this would have to be 5 or 7 to make sure that these 2 digits are consecutive. And that's how crop key dots work. We also have a V between 2 cells mean they add up to 5. An X between 2 cells mean they add up to 10. So for example, if this were, say, a 3, this would have to be a 2 to make sure that these digits add up to 5. And if this were a 3, this would have to be 7. Because if these 2 digits were adding up, they have to add up to 10 because of the X in between them. And the board is covered in fog. Place a digit correctly, and the fog will lift around it. So if you place a digit correctly, say here, it would clear the fog in that cell and the surrounding 8 cells around it. And this is typical fog of war behavior. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, so for these, we have, what I see immediately is that these 2 digits add up to 5, and these 2 digits add up to 10. So these must be 1 through 4, and this must be 6 through 9 to add up to 10. We also know these 4 digits add up to 28. Now, these 2 digits are at most... okay. Let's look at what this digit can be. It could... What digits can it be? You could have 9 and 9 here. That would make 18 at the maximum. And these 2 digits have to be 2 away from each other, right? Because we have one consecutive set here, and then another consecutive set here. And this one's, again, consecutive with both of these. And since these are different digits, because they're in the same box, it has to be two away from each other. So what are the possible combinations that could be 2 away from each other? Well, you cannot have 1 and 3 because that's too small. Actually, anything that's less than... So there has to be a difference of 2 between these 2 digits. So if you have maximum 9 and 9 here, these must add up to 10. So this is at minimum 4 and 6 here. So this is at minimum 4 and 6. You can't have 5 or 7 here. And this also could be 6 and 8. So those are the possibilities there. These digits must be, this digit must be either 5 or 7 here. If this is 4, this is in a 1 to 2 ratio only with 2. If this is 4, this is 2, this has to be 3, and this would be 7. So that seems to work okay. And this would be 6 then. If this is 6, this would be 3, this would be 2. This would have to be 8. And this could be 5 or 7. Adding up to... Actually, it could not be 7. It would have to be 6, 5, 4 there. Right? If this is 6, this is 3, this is 2, that's 8. So there cannot be 6, 7, 8. It could have to be 6, 5, 4. If this is 8, this is 4, this is 1, this is 9, and this would have to be 7, and that would be 6. So either way, this is a 6 here. This is consecutive with that. If this is 4, again, this would have to be 2, and this would be 3. So this could not go down to a 3. This could go 5, 7, or 9 here. That's fine. Actually, and this can't be 9. Because this can't, if this were 9, what is it in a 1 to 2 ratio with? It's not in a 1 to 2 ratio with any digit. Because 2 times 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, which is not a digit. And 9 times 2 is 18, which is not a digit. So 9 cannot be here. So actually the minimum here then is not 10. It's actually 12. Or not, it's technically it's 11. But these 2 digits are 2 away from each other. So the minimum here would be 11 or 12, but you can't have a 5-7 pair here. So this is only 6 and 8. Right? You can't have a 5-7 pair because 5 and 7 also cannot be next to a black Kropke dot because it's not, neither of them are double an actual digit, and if you double them, you get 10 or more, which is not a digit. So therefore, this must then specifically be 6 and 8, because it cannot be, again, 4 and 6, because that's 10, and that would require this to be 9 and this to be 9. And this 9 can never be next to a black Kropke dot in a normal Sudoku puzzle. So this is a 6-8 pair, which means this is a 7. This can't be, this could be still 5, 7, or 9. This has to be 3 or 4, which makes this 1 or 2, which makes this 8 or 9. But we know this is a 6-8 pair here in this box, which eliminates 8 from the rest of the box. So this must be 9, this must be 1, this has to be 4, which forces this to be 8, which makes that a 6. And these alternate between odds and evens. This has to then be either 3 or 5, but 5 cannot be next to a black croppy dot, so this must be 3, which makes this 6. This then has to be 2 because it's the only even left, and this is 5. This 6 has to be with a 4 to add up to 10. This can't be 5. This is 7 or 9. So, okay, we're going to mark the evens as blue and the odds as red. And this is through the entire puzzle. So these are odd. This will be odd. This will be even. This will be odd. This digit is consecutive with the even digit, so it must be odd. This is an even. This is an odd. Okay, these digits already add up to 20, so this must be 8. So that's 8. These two digits add up to 10. It cannot be any even digit. If these were both, anytime you have two digits adding up to another digit, if they're both adding up to an even digit, you have to have an even amount of odd digits, right? So basically, actually, this is just in general, right? If you have digits adding up to an even number, you always have to have an even number of odd digits because they have to essentially not counter, but they have to essentially cancel each other in a sense. If you have an odd digit, you must have another odd digit to make it an even sum. And if you have an even digit, you could just keep adding even digits. Yeah. But for the odd digits, you need to specifically have these are both even or they're both odd. Well, can't be even because none of these digits can be even because 2, 4, 6, and 8 are cannot be in that cell. So this has to be an odd cell, which means this is an odd cell. And this odd cell is in a 1 to 2 ratio with something. Well, the only odd cell remaining that can be in a 1 to 2 ratio, because we can't have a 3, it must be 1. So this is 1, which makes this be a 2 to be in a 1 to 2 ratio. This is a 9 now. This must be an even cell because it's next to an odd on the parity line. These must be odd. Obviously, the 2 is an even. These digits are consecutive. What consecutive digits can it be? No 8, because 8 requires 7 or 9. Obviously can't have 6, can't have 4, so then it has to be 2 here. So this is 2. This is either 1 or 3. This must be an even cell here. This is the pink thermometer bulb. So it starts at 2. So this could be 2, and this could be 3 at least, but it actually has to be 4 at least. So this is, that actually can't be 4. It's 6 or 8 here. This is 4 or 6. This is 3, 5, or 7. This is 3, 5, or 7. We don't know about this. But one of these, okay, this has to be odd because it's next to an even digit. These are even. We also know one of these two must be an even digit, right? Because otherwise you can't have a parity line show up here. And the only even digit left is an 8 in the box. And 8 cannot be here, so therefore this must be an 8, which is the even digit. These remaining digits must be odd because we have 4 even digits in this box. This must be odd because it's next to an even digit on the parity line. This has to be next to a 4, so it's 3 or 5 here. These two digits are in a 1 to 2 ratio, and it does not have 4, and it does not have 8, or it does not have 1. So that cannot be 1, 2, 2, 4, or 4, 8. It has to be 3 and 6. So this is a 3, 6 pair, which eliminates 3 and 6 from the rest of the row. Therefore, this can't be 3. It must be a 5. This digit must be smaller than that. So it could be 2, 3, no 4, 5. It could be 6 or 7, though. Where is the 2 in row 8? Cannot be in the 3, 6 pair here. Can't be any of the odd digits, so it must be here. So this is a 2. This is an even digit. Don't know about this. In these 3 cells, this one has to be the even. And the reason why we know that is because if we tried to make both of these even, we would have 5 evens in row 9, which is not possible because the only evens we have are 4, which is 2, 4, 6, and 8. So this must be even. These must be odd. That forces this to be even, to be next to the odd, and this is odd. So this must be a 6. This is a 3. 3 can only be next to 4 or 2, but the 2 is already taken in the box, so this must be a 4. This must be then a 5, because 4 is consecutive with 3 and 5. This could be 4 or 6, but it can't be 6 because of the 6 in the column, so this is a 4. So these are even, these are odd. We have 4 evens in this box. The last digit must be odd, so that's odd. And these are 1, 3, and 5, but the 3 is not possible, so these must be a 1, 5 pair, which eliminates 1 and 5 from the rest of the row. So this can't be 1, this must be a 3. Where is the 1 in this box then? Can't be any of these, it must be here. So this is a 1, this is a 7 or 9. This can no longer be 5. These digits are 7 and 9, and this must be an 8. Okay, this is an even digit because it's next to an odd digit on the parity line. This is an odd, this is an even, this is an odd. Okay. This is consecutive with that digit, and this is an odd digit, so this must be even. We have 4 evens now in this box, which makes the rest of the box odd. So these are all odd. This can't be 2, 4, 8. It must be 6. So the remaining digits are 2 and 8, and this can't be 2 because of that 2, so this must be 8, which makes that a 2. This is an odd digit now. This can't be 8, it must be a 6, which means this digit is smaller than a 6, so it's 2 or 3. Well, we have 5 odds in row 6, which makes the rest of the row evens. So this must be even, and this must be a 2 specifically. This has to be 3 or 7. This is consecutive with 8, so it's 7 or 9. But because of the 3, 7 pair in the box, we cannot have a 7 in the rest of the box. So this must be a 9. We also have 5 odd digits in row 5 now, which makes the last digit even in row 5. And it has to be a 4. So that's a 4, which means this can't be 4. This is a 6. We have 4 evens in box 4. So these last two must be odd. This must be even because it's next to an odd digit. So this must be an 8. This is odd. This is even. This is odd. This must be even. The brown circle, I think, must be odd. Yep, so this is odd. This must be a 4, because that's the last even digit there. This must be even then. This has to be odd because we have 4 evens in the column. This cannot be 2, 6, or 8 because of the 2 and 6 in the column and the 8 in the row, so this must be a 4. This is odd, and this is even. This has to be a 2 because it's the only even digit left in the column because of the 4, 6, 8. This must be odd. This is even. This must be odd. The 2 adds up with the 3 to add up to 5. So this is odd. This is odd. And we start seeing the frog in the fog. Because we see the eyes, we see the tongue. It's a very short tongue. Where can the 4 be in row 4? Cannot be here because of the 4 in the box. Can't be here. Can't be here or here. It must be here. So this is a 4, which makes that an even. This can't be 2, 4, 8. It must be a 6. This can't be 2, 4, 8. So this must be a 6. Where is the last 4? Because we have 8 4s. It has to be here. So this is 4, which makes that even. These are two odd digits adding up to 10. So it's either 1, 9 or it's 3, 7, but 9 cannot be here. Therefore, this must be 1 and 9. And this must be 3 and 7, because those are the only digits remaining in this box. And this can't be 3, therefore this is 7, which makes that 3. This can't be 3 or 7, so this must be 5, which makes that a 1. Remaining digits here are 3 and 7, but either of them could be 3 or 7. The remaining digits here are 5 and 9. We don't know much about that. Out of these digits, this one has to be odd because we have 4 evens in the column. We have 5 odds in column 9, so this must be even, which makes this an 8. We have 8 6s, so we know where the last 8 6 has to be. It has to be here, which makes that even. Do we have 8 2s? No, we have 7 2s. But where is the 2 in this box here? Cannot be here or here. Can't be here or here. So it must be in this cell. So this is a 2. It's even, which forces this to be odd. Oh yeah, we had 4 evens in row 2, so that one had to be odd, which makes that an even. And now the rest is kind of just Sudoku. These digits have to be 5 and 8. This can't be 5 because of that 5, so this must be an 8, which makes that even. This must be odd, which makes that a 5. We have 4 evens in column 5, which means the rest of the column is odd. We know, so the rest of this middle upper box has to be even because we have 5 odds in the box. So this is even, this is even. This must be an 8 because that's the only even digit in column 4 remaining, and this must be a 2 because of the same reasoning. And now we just Sudoku here. This is 3 or 7, but it can't be 3 because of that 3, so this must be 7, which makes that a 3, which makes that a 7. The remaining digits in column 2 are 1 and 3, and that's still valid. The remaining digits in column 5 are 1, 7, and 9. And this 1, 7, 9 triplet means in the rest of the box, you cannot have a 1, 7, or 9. So this can't be 1, 7, or 9, and it can't be 5. It has to be 3. So this is 3. This can't be 1, 7, or 9, and it can't be 3 anymore, so this is 5. This 3 makes that a 1, which makes that a 3. This can't be 1. This can't be 7 because of this 7. This has to be 7 or 9 because of that's remaining in column in row 1. This can't be 3 because of this 3, so this must be 7, which makes this a 9, which makes that 7, which makes that a 3. Remaining digits here are 1, 5, and 9. Remaining digits here are 1, 5, 7, and 9. But 5 cannot be either of these cells. Where is a 5 in this box? It has to be here. So this is 5, which makes that 9, which makes that 5. This 5 means this can't be 5, so that's a 1, which makes that a 5. This 1 eliminates 1 here, so that makes that 9, which makes that 1. This 7 means this can't be 7, so that's a 9, 7. This 9 means this can't be 9, so that's a 7, which makes that 9, which makes that 1, which makes that 7. And we have now 9 and 1 left. That's how you solve it. Yay, you completed the puzzle. Click on the back arrow and click on the word here to see the picture without numbers. Okay, so this is if you want to see the picture without the numbers. Um, so this is the picture of the frog. Um, yeah, pretty cool. Nice little frog. Um, Sticking out his tongue at you. um, Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.